Hey everyone, this is Mr. T-Bone81 back with another review, and today we're going to take a look at the Transformers Prime Robots in Disguise Voyager Starscream Decepticon. And here he is in his box. You can see here it's the same typical Voyager size box that we usually get with the window here. You can pull back on his gun. Here you see some artwork of Starscream on the side, very nice. And then the regular Oblivious picture shots on the back that probably are not very accurate to how the transformation is, but there you have it. And then here you have Starscream's bio, and then his technical data here. You can see here his courage is super low just because it's Starscream. So, but yeah, pretty excited to have this guy. I was very curious to see how this guy would be, so let me get him out of the box and we'll take a look at him. Okay, so here we have Starscream out of his packaging and in his jet mode, and as you can see, he is that jet that you see from Transformers Prime in a Voyager size, obviously. It does come with this. This is his little mech techie weapon that you can store on top of his jet mode, which I think looks ridiculous, and I really don't like these little weapons that come with these Power Riser figures. You could store it here. You could also store it under the wing, like this, on either side, and it does the same thing. Just like that. I mean, that looks a little bit better, I guess, if you would have to choose one, but it looks stupid because you only have one, so he's lopsided. So that I don't really do anything with. This is basically the same weapon that came with Optimus Prime, Voyager Optimus Prime, on his Power Riser weapon. So, but very nice jet mode, I would say, overall. It's not bad looking. He's got the visible head syndrome on the bottom, and you can clearly see these are his legs, so but overall, not too bad. These missiles can come off, and so that's pretty nice there. So pretty accurate to his missiles in the show, which is really cool. But yeah, you know, his coloring is not too bad. Kind of a darker plastic on these, and then there's a light gray here, and then a darker gray here, and then the red. So, but all in all, not too bad on the jet mode, I would have to say. And just for a quick size comparison, here he is next to the Voyager Megatron, and so you can tell, not quite to scale, obviously. I mean, that was probably the one thing about this Voyager Starscream that people were knocking, as well as, you know, just the fact that he's not necessarily to scale to the rest of the figures, but that's okay. But all in all, pretty nice vehicle mode, with the exception of this Power Riser weapon on this right here. So let's get him transformed, and to start out his transformation, you're going to want to just start here, flipping by unpegging these and flipping these up. You just unpeg here on both sides, okay, just like that. And then you can kind of fold up his wings to get him out of the way. And then what you're going to want to do down here is split these pieces, his legs. So split these off like this. I'll turn around this way. And then this whole piece, oh, I'm sorry, actually, what you're going to want to do first is unpeg his nose cone and bend this up like that. And now you can come around here, fold down his legs, and then spin these, straighten these out like so. So for his legs, what you're going to want to do is flip these pieces up, his knee, these little pieces there. And then for the feet, you're just going to want to fold out his toe and then spin these pieces around. And this is how the instructions have you do it. I don't know how I feel about that. I'm not really crazy about that because his feet have these huge, big honkin' heels. So, but that's basically the feet right there. So, not much to that. Okay, and let me raise up the camera here so you can get his upper body. And then for his arms, you're going to want to slide this piece down, his fin, and then split his arms, just like so. Okay, I'll come around here to the front. Bring his arms down like this. There you have his head. Then you're going to want to rotate these around and unpeg these off of this piece. And then this piece will rotate down, like this black piece here will rotate down like that. And then kind of rotate it around moving this piece, his shoulder pad out, and then rotate, moving it up, and then undoing his arm like so. And then you can put his shoulder pad down again. And just kind of leave that there like that first. Do the same thing with this side. Rotate this piece up. Take this black piece here and then fold it down like that. Lift this piece up. Pull his arm all the way out like so. And you can push his shoulder piece, oops, put his shoulder piece down like that. So now he's kind of looking really kind of weird right now. So what you're going to want to do now is rotate his arm around and rotate this arm around as well, and then straighten his head out, pull this piece down, and it'll just snap in there. It doesn't really click in, but it just kind of sits in there. And then do the same thing with the other side here. Just pull it down, and it'll just kind of sit there. Okay, so here you have Voyager Starscream transformed into his robot mode, and as you can see, he's a really good representation of Starscream from the show, actually. And you know, it is kind of like a scaled up version of the deluxe one, but this guy has a little bit of differences. And one thing that I do really like is that his missiles from his jet mode, you can store them back here on his wings, but then you can also take them off and put them on his forearms like in the show. So that's show accurate, which is really cool. And it is the single missile, unlike the deluxe version where it came with a triple missile kind of gimmick. But this one is just a single one, which is nice because that's show accurate. And then if you just look at his head sculpt is really nice too. You can see that he kind of has that smirk of Starscream from the show. And then his little crown piece here was originally a gray piece, but I just took a red Sharpie and you can just color it in, just like very similar to the deluxe version where you can just do that, which is pretty cool. So he looks much better in my opinion now. You can also do that with these missiles too. I haven't done that yet, but I might do that as well. In terms of articulation, he does have a ball jointed head. The one thing I don't like about his head is that it seems like it's a little squished, like kind of he has that, it's kind of low and it doesn't raise up any higher really. Like you can kind of, that's about as high as you can get it from the body itself, but it seems like it just sits down a little too low in my opinion, but that's okay, I guess. I mean, that's just me. His wings do move this way and back, so you can move those a little bit. His arms, shoulders are on ball joints. He has a bicep swivel, bend at the elbow, and then the really cool thing that I like is a wrist. He has a wrist swivel right here, and then he has ball hinged hips, and then no waist articulation, and then he can bend at the knee, and then his toes are articulated as well, so that's pretty cool. And then you can also play with these little back pieces here to kind of play with his stance a little bit that way as well. So all in all, pretty good articulation on this guy. And like I said, the thing that I wasn't really crazy about is these heel pieces here, and you can fold them up to be like that. I mean, really it comes down to what your preference is, I guess. I'm not really crazy about it, but it's there and you can't really do anything about it, I guess. But I mean, I guess you can do it that way, so, but not too bad, I guess. In terms of his weapon, you know, I showed this already. You have this mech tech little cannon blaster thing that, actually it's not even a cannon, it's like a blade. And so, but it's very similar to Optimus's, and you can just take out this and just plug it in here, I guess, into his arm. Because he does have the clear purple forearms like all the other Powerizer Voyagers, and so you can do this, you can do it like that, but I don't like it. I think these are kind of just pointless in my opinion. He doesn't really need this. I'm much more happy with the missile in his arm, because he does not even use a gun in the show, which is, you know, so that's nice. I think he looks really good that way. Doesn't really need to have that mech tech weapon, in my opinion. So pretty cool figure overall, and you can see here, just like I said, in terms of the detail, he has a black Decepticon symbol there. So that's kind of weird, because actually it should really go there, inside of his chest right there. So, but all in all, not too kibbly, pretty clean transformation for the most part, and his robot mode is really not too bad at all. So definitely, I think this is a really good figure to pick up if you do see him. Just for a quick size comparison, here he is with the deluxe Starscream. So you can see here he clearly is much taller than the deluxe version. I still think that the deluxe one obviously will fit in better with the overall collection in terms of scale, but he, you know, this Voyager one is pretty nice. And then here he is with a Voyager Megatron. So there you can see that the scale is not even close. Starscream, Voyager Starscream is much too big to be in scale with the Megatron, although like I said, he does look good. I do like this figure a lot, so that's just a quick size comparison with Megatron. But all in all, do I recommend this guy? I would recommend him, because he is a pretty neat looking figure, and he looks really nice, with the exception of, like I said, his heels, these pieces on his feet that kind of are sitting there, and then, you know, there's still some lack of paint apps on his crest that you can easily, you know, fix with a red Sharpie. And then if you can get by the purple forearms, which aren't too bad on this guy, just because I think he has a darker tone overall himself, so it doesn't look too bad. So, but all in all, I definitely would recommend it. So if you see him, pick him up. And that'll do it for this review. So please feel free to ask questions, leave comments, and don't forget to rate and subscribe, and I will talk to you guys later.